Welcome. Today I will be paraphrasing, summarizing, and sharing for the November 6th Al-Anon readings, Encouraged to Change and a Little Time for Myself. We'll begin with the Serenity Prayer and 3 mindful breaths. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. We'll begin with a little time for myself. I'm filming this on October 31st, Halloween. Last year we had one trick-or-treater, and this was the little child who lives across the street. So this year I made her a little goodie bag. We have candy in case other trick-or-treaters come, but made something special for her because she may be the only one we get, and she's mighty adorable in her little Halloween costume. All right, I'm going to take a minute to look over November 6th. The question of the day is, in what ways has Al-Anon helped me accept myself as I am? And the passage is about a homosexual male who was full of shame based on their sexuality. And they finally told their alcoholic father, who was a member of AA, and he was extremely supportive and suggested Al-Anon. So this person went to Al-Anon and became much more comfortable with accepting themselves and accepting others who appear to be different than he is. The quote is from How Al-Anon Works for Families and Friends of Alcoholics, and paraphrasing, it says, we're all just doing the best we can. We're not that different. So in what ways has Al-Anon helped me accept myself as I am? Well, it's been enormously helpful in helping me to accept myself and even love myself. I think it started with my very first meeting when I was told the 3 C's. I didn't cause it, I can't control it, and I can't cure it. That was huge because I knew it was right, but I needed to hear it from the experts, and I considered Al-Anon the experts because when I researched it, it was quite established. Hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people take part in the program, and to me, it was trustworthy information. So when I heard that, I felt it was a fact, and it felt like a fact to me because I knew that I I didn't know what I did to cause it, and I knew I couldn't control it. I knew because I tried everything possible. So, so that was the first thing. And then just sharing in meetings and not being judged, that was huge. And probably I'm trying to think if it was the biggest thing or if like my first meeting was the biggest thing, but probably having a sponsor and doing the steps with my sponsor and my sponsor knowing every detail about who I am and what I felt shame and guilt about. My sponsor knows all that, and my sponsor still loves me. And I didn't hold anything back. And so that made me realize that, perhaps I am truly lovable. And that was and still is a fantastic feeling. So that's how Al-Anon has helped me accept myself as I am. And it continues to. Every meeting I go to, every page that I read in the Daily Reader makes me realize that I'm just one of the entire human race and we're all connected. In fact, I'll take it one step further and say all things are connected, all living things, everything is connected. All right, in what ways has Al-Anon helped you accept yourself as you are? Great page. All these pages that I read, this is my first time reading them because I just bought this book earlier this year. So you're sharing a important experience with me. Now this is an old friend right here. All right, November 6th. It's another tab. We're on I can't think of the word, but a tabbing streak. How's that? All right, I'm going to take a minute to read. It's very funny. So this is about step 5, which goes along with what I was saying about the reading in A Little Time for Myself. So step 5 says, admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. And this is what I was referring to when I said I did the steps with my sponsor. I did all the steps with my sponsor, but step 5 is the big one in my mind, because that was the one I was the most nervous about, because I was concerned that my sponsor wouldn't want to work with me anymore because I was so damaged. It's funny now. I'm glad I can laugh at it now, because none of us are. None of us are that damaged that we would be rejected from Al-Anon. So this person is saying that the exact nature of this person's wrongs mostly had to do with how they thought about themselves, how they didn't feel good enough, how they didn't feel worthy of love. And once they did their fifth step with someone that they trust, they began to live a more loving way of seeing themselves, a more realistic way of seeing themselves. Today's reminder talks about how dealing with alcoholism can take a real toll on our self-esteem. And the fifth step is very serene-inducing, and it's very helpful in our recovery. The quote is from Al-Anon, Hope for Children of Alcoholics. When we let, and paraphrasing, when we let others see who we really are, we can really begin to accept ourselves, and we're not, it turns out we're not anywhere near as bad as we thought. Thank goodness, because there were points where I really felt that I had outgrown my usefulness in any way, and thank goodness that happened in 2010. I didn't find Al-Anon until 2013, but I did have other interventions with professionals and medication to get me through, because I really was seriously considering ending my life. And because I felt like I was not a good mother because my son was struggling so much. And it didn't help that as he was in crisis, he was telling me that it was my fault. So it wasn't a completely made up idea. I was being told that, which is not uncommon, that the person who is abusing substances says things that are very hurtful. But a lot of the times it doesn't really have anything to do with us. It has to do with their own suffering, which is heartbreaking to know that they would hurt that much, because I know from my own experience, I've been immensely blessed with my son's recovery out of where he was, and he's 10 years out now. And so I've had much more of a son in a healthy relationship than I did in the time that he was struggling. And that is a gift that I will never take for granted. That is a gift that I am grateful for every second of my existence. But I also know that if things changed, I didn't cause it, I can't control it, and I can't cure it. And it doesn't change the way I love my son. Nothing will, ever. And that's what I said during that horrible time of crisis, and that's what I continue to say now. I say it directly to him frequently because I want him to know, and he does know. And that does my heart good. So we'll close out with the serenity prayer and 3 mindful breaths. Here we go. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Sending you love. Take care.